New day.
Good. I'm not the only one who had some coffee this morning. I'm feeling it.
Almond, buenos días, cariño. Digo, disculpa, buenos días.
Buenos días. Buen día.
Buen dia. Well, I'll give people another minute. I feel like we can. Yeah, now we got the Brady Bunch full on effect. I feel better about that. Then let's get this party started. Let's see. Let me get to the praise room because I wrote some down. Oh my gosh, so much praise in this channel. It's so nice to kind of do the praise scroll, you know. So I want to let's get it started. I want to dish praise to Ashley for being such an incredible steward of the project verification team and keeping so much integrity for Giveth around like how we add projects to the platform, even though we always disagree on it. I love your integrity around the process. I also want to give major praise to Vitor for the quick work on the budget box application. I think this is really important for mitigating the plutocracy of Give Power, and it's nice that we have something going before launch. And I want to praise Lauren, of course, for the incredible work around getting boosting out and just keeping track of everything and giving me a great birthday. I'll pass it to you, Lauren.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I want to praise Mary Jeff for being like the best tester that the world has ever seen. Like she did so much work on testing all these edge cases around canceled and verified and unverified projects, and it's even hard for me to keep track of. So she's like just a total genius, and I'm so grateful for her. And I want to praise Amen for all the work that she does around organizing the Twitter Spaces, podcasts, Giveth Basics. She's also just like a super intelligent machine where it's like I'm like some random tokenomics ideas, and she finds like useful resources related to them. And anyway, so she's a super valuable contributor as well. And I want to praise Mitch for running the testing party this last hour and just like basically being there for me every time that I'm like, I can't do this complicated thing. Mitch is like, don't worry, I got it. So he's a total hero for Give Power boosting, for DAO governance, and for everything to do with the economy, and a great friend. And that's my praise. I'll pass it to Ashley.
Thanks, Lauren. This is always the hardest. I want to praise everybody involved in Meet the Makers yesterday. So Nicola, Franco, Almond, and the planning that went into it. It was a great turnout. And yeah, I also want to praise everybody who was involved in the Giveth Essentials thing. Even, I've been involved with Giveth for a while, and I even learned some new things in the session. So I think I would say that's. And I want to praise Claire for all of the hard work she's been putting into like creating this project survey. We're getting really close to being able to send it out, and that's exciting. And I will pass it to Kotabe.
GM everyone. I want to praise Nick Fold for reminding me about my body call and for all the great brilliant work that he always does in human resources. I want to praise Lauren and Mitch for all the efforts on the Give Power testing and Mary Jeff, of course, too. And I want to praise Mateo, Carlos, Ramin, Mohammed, Amin, and Monique for always supporting me so much with all dev related questions. I'll pass it to Rodri.
Hi everyone, thanks Kodae. I want to praise Salmon for propose and move forward the podcast for Giveth. I want to praise Mitch for work with me in the pops. I want to praise everyone for staying here. I pass to, I don't know, Mo.
Thanks. Okay, so I want to praise Tosin for continue working on the Giveth. Thanks, buddy. And I want to praise Monique for working with me on the multi-level account. Actually, I don't know who I should pass, but just let me try. Freshel, please. Yeah, okay,
Yes,
got it.
yes. Hi everyone. I want to praise Nico for coordinating on body review calls. thanks so much for all the hard work on this. And I want to praise Ahmad, Heather, and Nico for productive HR or hiring monthly call earlier. And I want to praise Griff for working with me asynchronously on payments and make sure we're still on time and paying people. And I'll pass it to Nicola.
Thank you, Prashel. Hi, everyone. Okay, and happy Thursday. I want to praise really Mitch and Lauren and Griff and also Almond for organizing and doing such a great job at Last Essentials. And please more of sessions like this. It's amazing. Also, I want to praise in this way because we have closed really nicely another gravity case, and I can't give any names, but I want to acknowledge at least this way that everyone who was involved. Thank you so much, guys, for being so beautiful, humble in the process, and responsive and supportive, and showing that we can go through unpleasant experiences in a beautiful, graceful way. So praise to everyone who was involved in the last case, yay, and yeah, praise to my Meet the Makers team and the beautiful organization and all the future plans that we have. Thanks. It was awesome to have the last session with all of you guys. So that's my praise, and I'm going to pass it to Danny.
Oh, can you guys hear me now? Woo! I can hear you too. I want to praise Almond. She has been in contact with me about how to get some projects pimped out, and I'm really excited to be able to share that information out some more. I also want to praise Marco. I know he's not in here, but I was just reading a bunch of his feedback on the forum, and he always has such very insightful information. So thanks for bumping that up, Griff, and thanks to Marco for having such great information in there. And then I also want to praise Kai. I see Kai jumping into the forum a lot and getting, I forget the post that was up there. Oh, about the damn. I'll type it into the praise channel. Sorry. And I'm going to stop there and pass it over to Santi.
Thank you, Danny. GM, everyone. I want to give praise to Mitch for hosting the Boost Give Power testing party. I want to give praise to Franco for taking care of the party on the Giveth house last weekend and also providing me with one of the tickets for the ETH gathering. And I want to give praise to Kyle for taking care of the DApp node so we can finally start working with Trust Node. And I'll pass it to Kyle.
Okay, but it's okay. I also want to praise Franco for actually taking care of the debt node in a different way, and Arno as well. I want to praise Mitch for all his repeated diligence and requesting review on EVM scripts. Still about to do it. Thanks. And I want to praise Amin, Mohammed, and Carlos for quickly adopting our new and more secure ways we have with DevOps to access the infrastructure. So many people. I don't know who still has to go. I give it to Mo.
No, Mo already went, but Almond hasn't.
Thank you. I want to praise all the team that made possible a great Meet the Maker session. I want to praise Franco because he always helped me organizing all those crazy ideas. And I want to praise Ashley for supporting me, for always facilitating me so many things and to work and collaborate with me. And I'm going to pass it to Heather.
Hello, yes. I want to praise Almond for being everywhere on our Discord, I can talk, organizing a bunch of calls and meetings. I want to praise Ahmad, Freshell, and Nico for all of our HR action items this week. And I want to praise Santi and Franco for helping me go through the WorkDAO partnership proposal and all the legal language and having an extra set of eyes. And I will pass to Corey.
Thank you. Yeah, I'd like to praise Jake for helping me to better understand HubSpot and see how we can better organize our marketing partnerships. Thanks for taking the time with me. Want to praise Almond for implementing new feedback forms so quickly for our Giveth Essentials. It always blows my mind how fast you are. So thanks for that. And I want to praise Lauren and Mitch for running a really great dynamic tokenomics session in our Giveth Essentials meeting on Tuesday, getting lots of input from the group and then like pivoting on the spot to make sure we provide the most value possible for those that attended. So I really liked how you guys did that. Yeah, and the rest I'm going to write into the channel. I'll go ahead and pass this to, I think, Mateo. You haven't gone yet.
Yeah, I haven't. Thank you, Corey. Hey guys, hope you had a great week. From my side, I wanna praise all the dev team. The work that we are doing is really great, really amazing. I wanna praise everybody that is helping me with the fiat exploration issues. That's Jake, Ryan, Jazz, and many people behind the scenes to get that going. Thank you. I wanna praise Franco for leading the reward team for our side. That's also looking super cool. And yeah, I think I have more praise, but I will be writing them down, and that's it. I'll pass it to I don't know, Danny.
Danny went already, but actually, we have to turn off our videos. We hit 25, so thanks, guys. And then, but we can throw it over to Carlos.
Thank you, Griff. Hey everyone. My top three praises. Well, first the dev team and the testing party team. Great work as always. But I'd like to praise firstly Kai because of all the security improvements he did so that we do not get hacked. I'd like to praise Mateo for handling communication, for integrating Fiat into our platform. And I'd like to praise Mohammed for a bunch of releases he has been doing and reviewing my code. So that's it for me. Back. Well, is someone missing? Let me see. Rachel, did you go?
Rochelle did go, but Jake hasn't gone. Jake the Snake, do you want to take it?
I will. And in honor of the great holiday in America, being an American, I'm going to get a twist and give thanks today. I will give thanks to the fundraising and grants team doing a really good job. Everybody involved with that, making my life easier being involved. I want to give thanks to the Essentials team. Really good stuff there. A lot of good stuff to be learned. And then lastly, I want to give thanks to Curious Corey, as I'm calling her, because she's showing interest in HubSpot. Very nice of her. Let me pass it along to Mitch. I don't think is gone.
Yeah, thanks, Jake. I want to praise Griff and Lauren for taking some halftime, enjoying my home country, Canada. I am jealous. And I want to praise DH Tal for taking the initiative and getting that snapshot vote up. And I would like to praise Jake and Yas, who have just been like super active on the fundraising front and really pushing things along for us. And I will pass it to Linierx. No.
Oh, he was. Oh, there he is. Yeah. Hey, I don't know how to say her name, Lane. But do you want to play the praise game? Simply, I know you know Almond. You can probably praise her and praise anyone else that you think deserves it. Ideally, your only 3 praises.
I'm sorry, I don't know how to do that.
Okay, cool. Well, then let's throw it over to Moshe Hab.
Thanks, Griff. Hello, everyone. I want to praise a big praise to Mitch, Lauren, Griff, and Almond for a great tokenomics basics session they gave this week. I want to praise Kai and Jim for their work with just meeting up with Hats Finance to set up a bug bounty program. And I had a couple more praises. I'll just post them in the praise channel. I'll pass it on to Corey.
No, sadly Corey already went, but I don't think Nico has.
Oh, okay,
Thank
Nico.
you, Griff. Thank you. Yeah, I'd like to give my praise to Frischel, Ahmad, and Heather for another productive call, earlier HR call today. We were able to talk about the status of our contributors, action items, and deadlines. Praise to Heather for all her efforts in HR. We will be partnering with many upcoming HR hosted calls soon. And praise to everyone who have been taking buddy call reminders positively and lightly. And passing it back to you, Griff.
Yeah, it's probably a good idea at this point. It's getting down there. But Jake, myNFT, do you have any praise to dish? Do you want to play
Of course, that
praise
was
game?
the 1 second I walked out the door to go to go and get a coffee. I was like, here I go. Praise for me. Oh well, I mean, praise to all of you guys and everything that you're doing. Really, I mean, it's difficult to pick individuals out because I don't know you all. But Almond, I've kind of spoken to you a little bit, so I'll throw some praise your way.
Nice. Thanks, Jake. Thanks for jumping in and playing the game. And I saw Line Nurks, however you say your handle. I see you unmuted. Did you want to play? No. Okay, still having some issues there. Let's throw it to Yas.
Hi everyone. So I want to praise the fundraising team for their great efforts, and especially Jake for getting some really interesting leads on the fundraising front with VCs. I want to praise Matteo for taking the lead and doing all the great research for integrating the fiat, hopefully, into our donations. And I also want to praise Griff, Lauren, Mitch, and Almond for arranging the great essential sessions for the tokenomics. Pass it back to you, Griff.
Cool. Let's throw it over to Franco. I don't think you had a chance to go yet. Did you?
No, I was waiting for it. I want to praise Alvin for organizing the Twitter space around the Giveth house and pushing me to actually create a Twitter profile. So now I have a Twitter. I want to praise Griff, Lauren, and Mitch for their great tokenomics sessions. It was very interesting. I learned a lot. So thank you for that. And I want to praise also Danivel for her support in the rewards team and taking on some new tasks there that are going to be very helpful for me. And I'll pass it to, I think it's Tosin. You're missing?
Nice. Way to thread the needle.
Hi everybody. So I want to praise Mo for being such a delight to work with. Our sessions are always very insightful. I want to praise Monique for being such a great PM and trying to at least bring the design down to the perfect state. And I want to praise everybody for being here and participating in the community call. I'll pass it to I don't know. I think I'm the last.
Almost. Tropical Mango, I think, is last.
Hey guys, sorry, just had trouble on meeting. So shout out to Yaz for everything with the grant and with Jake for all the hard work there too. And special shout out to Alman for the tokenomic session, Lauren, Griff, me for answering their questions, and found it really useful. So thank you guys. And I think maybe I'm the last one.
I think so. Although interrupt me if anyone else if I missed them. People have been hopping in and out. It's been hard to chase you guys. But unless there's any interruptions, let's just dive into Community call 139. So excited to spend this special day with you guys. In the States, it is Turkey Day and giving season is officially here. So American Thanksgiving is always a fun time, especially Americans being big donors. This is really when giving season begins. Giving Tuesday is next week. After Black Fridays and all the shopping, people actually do better stuff than that. So that's really fun. So hopefully Giveth can take part in the giving season. Other big announcements, the Give Talks, the Giveth House, which I don't know, Franco, is there power in the Giveth House right now? It's been running out of power, in and out.
Yeah, there is power. There is power. As in 2 hours ago, the power came back. So officially the power again.
Well, to celebrate this magical moment where we have electricity, we're going to have a Twitter space on November 30th. So definitely show up. That'll be Wednesday, 10 a.m. Costa Rica time. And givebacks are out. You can go claim your POAPs and claim your givebacks. And your NICE has been sent. So definitely enjoy the rewards of that giving brings. And with that, we can jump into the working group session and the community circle. Do you want to take it away, Corey, for communications?
Yeah, thanks, Griff. Yeah, so we got some new stuff in comms for the last week. One new thing that's really cool to highlight, if you just move to the next slide, or maybe there's a lag on my end. Okay, yeah, perfect. We have a new feature announcement, which is, I think, really, really sleek. We now offer donors a new feature that allows you to add a small percentage on top of any donation on the Giveth DApp. So basically at the point of checkout, you're able to decide if you want to add a small percentage on top to support the Giveth DAO. So this is, I think, like a really cool, seamless way to support the Giveth project. And this is, of course, eligible for givebacks and NICE. So it's a really cool tweet thread that outlines everything, really cool to share around and to promote. It's a subtle feature that can have a really big impact. And then next up, Griff joined Kevin recently on this really cool Bankless podcast episode about coordination mechanisms. This is a session that's jam-packed with over 20 different mechanisms that you guys talked about. So yeah, maybe keep a notepad next to you when you're listening to it. I think there's some really good tips in there. And yeah, already mentioned Givebacks Round 23 is out. So the announcement is out as well. Went out a couple hours ago. Go claim your give, and your NICE will be sitting in your wallet if you donated to the Giveth project in this round. And also on Tuesday, Lauren and Mitch facilitated a really great Giveth Essential sessions on tokenomics. We did an awesome turnout. You can catch the recording. There's a link here to YouTube in case you weren't able to join. There's a lot of really great information in there. And it was also an interactive session, so super cool. And also really, really important is this, we have a new Giveth Essentials feedback form. Praise again to Almond for creating this so quickly. This is really, really important for us to figure out how we can continue to improve these sessions. We've done a few of the Giveth Essentials sessions now, and we'd like to understand, what value it's generating so far, and like how, what else we could be adding into these sessions, to help everybody upskill on the things that we're talking about. So please take a second and fill it out. We kept it short on purpose, short and sweet, but also very impactful for our next sessions. And we also recently started, just as a quick update, a bi-weekly sync between the comms working group and dev working group. I've been syncing with Monique every 2 weeks. It's because we want to start improving the flow of information between the two working groups, and get that over to comms like way more in advance, so we have more time to prep and also have better flows of requests from comms to dev. So that's been really, really cool, and praise to Monique for syncing with me so productively. And we also have, earlier this week, we had a really great brainstorming session in the comms call about the voice of Giveth in the bear market. And the idea is really for us to speak more from our perspective as an experienced DAO in the space. and continue building trust with our community, and focus more on, you know, our core values of like, why are we here in the space and what are we building for? Also our positive impact that we're generating, and things about like how Web3 can be doing good things amidst all the other news that's out there in the world. So that's something we're going to be working more on from the comm side. And then also coming soon, we've got the Give News November edition coming out next week. So keep your eyes out for the newsletter. We have Give Power Boosting launch coming up quick. So we're prepping last comms items for that. We're also looking at creating some really cool infographics around monthly stats to share, and finishing up our roadmap blog post. And we've already talked about the upcoming Twitter space on November 30th. So make sure to flag your calendar for that. That's all from comms. I will pass it probably to you, Ashley, right? For Communitas.
Yeah. Thank you, Corey. So we have our weekly things on Tuesday at 9 a.m. Costa Rica time. You can come join us if you want to get involved with community building. And we also do weekly community AMA and orientation calls on Wednesdays at 10 a.m. Costa Rica time. You can add it to your calendar up in the top right corner. It's for people who are interested in starting to contribute, or they have a project that they have questions about, or maybe you want to know more about the tokenomics of Give. You can come and ask questions. And sometimes we do themed ones. We did a verification one, so keep an eye out for those in the future as well. As most of you have probably heard, this podcast is in the works. There's a forum post talking about the status of it. Almond's been doing a lot of work to get everything ready. Roderi's making designs. It's all in the works, coming out soon. So we're preparing to record the first episode. You can find out lots of information in this forum post. And I can't see the slide. And the next topic is project ranking. So this is coming back to the surface. It was kind of asleep for a while, but we want to start breathing some more life into this. So get in there, provide some feedback. This is going to be pretty relevant just after Give Power launches, because it will play into this ranking system that Give Power also does. So yeah, get in, let's talk about that and how we can form a system that works. We had a great Meet the Maker session, and we will be having a retrospective session after this call. So if you were there or have feedback about it, or want to be involved in how we can make future sessions more successful, we're going to talk about that just after this call in the Unicorn Only channel. And the Giveth Essentials, we just had the tokenomics one. The next one is to be decided. It hasn't been confirmed yet. So if you have any ideas, you can get in there and put your ideas in the document that you can find the link under the community brainstorming section here. So put ideas for future sessions in there. You can find past sessions, and I think probably we'll do another tokenomics version too, but I'm not sure yet. And then last but not least, we've got our Gravity team. We've had a few Gravity cases now, so if there are any Gravitons in our community that are interested in getting involved, reach out to Nicola. We might start having a monthly sync for Gravity moving forward. So if you want to get involved, you can DM Nicola, and if you see any conflict in the community or anything's going on between you and somebody else in our community, there's a form here with a link that you can fill out to start to work towards a resolution. And I think that's all I got.
Cool. Let's throw it to the development working group. Amin, or who's taking it for the development working group today?
Me.
Nice. Take it away, Mateo.
Thank you, Griff. So for our side, we are live from the in the front end 2.5.0 and the backend is 1.7.5. We're live since the 21st, and the default donations, it's live finally. So super cool. If you go and donate, you will see a toggle that you can choose to donate some percentage to ourselves, to Giveth. So that's super cool. That's the first step for the Givefy. So that's super nice. In there's also some fixes on the backend to optimize more the backend. The give calculation is now considering the give power rank. The give power boosting is also now checking the spread status. And we also improved the notification center and some book faces. We are working right now on the backend for the interactive API so other projects can integrate with us more easily. For the Fiat exploration, we are going to be releasing the on-ramper integration very soon. I think next week could be a great date. And we are doing a research on the radical drips. They are offering a grant to give us just to do research and do like a work between the two projects to see how we can handle credit cards or something like that to make the radical drips. Right now we're also doing some give power boosting test parties. I think the last one was 30 minutes ago, like 1 hour ago before this call. Super cool. After that, and we grab all of the feedback, we can keep moving with that part. And for the next slide, I didn't actually change that slide, so it's the same like last week, but I think it's still the same because we haven't moved that fast in that regards. So multi-level accounts is still on research and recurring donations also. The good news this time is that token log is now fixed, so the voting power that you are being displayed in there, it's actually the real one. Before there was like super weird numbers taking, I don't know, like quadratic voting with some extra numbers in there that didn't make sense. So the bad part is that we had to reset it. So every voting that you made before, it's in 0. So you can go ahead and make new votes for that. I think the URL also changed. I'm not sure which is. So I will also update the slide because I think that one is the old one. Yeah, I think that's it, guys. Love you. Pass it back to you, Griff.
Sure, and I'll sling it over to Lauren for the Give Economy Working Group.
Yep. Thank you. Yeah, Give Economy Working Group has a lot of calls. Some of them are on Wednesdays. There's also the GiveFi research call right after this and the fundraising call on Mondays. So here is my best guess at a summary. Give Economy updates. In the development side, as Mateo already mentioned, we are having test fiestas. The last one last hour was super fun, and I'm hoping to have another one next week, basically just to get people in there doing some final testing of Give Power before it is ready to launch. The video is in progress. I'm having a meeting with Gray Machine tomorrow to start on the animations. And then after that, it's going to be comms. With the product ready to launch, we're going to be doing a lot of outreach, working on the blog, making sure the docs are up. And once all our ducks are in a row, we can launch this thing. Regen Farms, working on a design makeover. So Mo and Tassin are working on that. But basically, the cult Regen Farm's going to end, and we never really figured out how we're going to archive the farms and still have the streams going up. So there's a lot of interesting things going on in there. If that interests you, you can leave some comments in that issue. Give Drop is set to end on December 24th. The snapshot for this has passed, and it's actually not so hard for us to actually implement that. I mean, I already prepared the transaction data for it. So we'll just need to execute the transaction and the Give Drop on the 24th. And then we're going to need to do a makeover of the Give Economy homepage because the Give Economy homepage was designed over a year ago when we first launched this thing, and so much has changed since then. So if you have opinions, Katabi put a bunch of ideas, jump in that issue and add some things as well. Also, notification center. I need to work on adding updates for Give Economy to the notification center. More a reminder than anything else. On the research side of things, Budget Box is a super cool thing. This is developed by Vitor, and Griff gave feedback, and probably many other people working on this. But basically, you'll have two projects side by. Oh, he already voted, but I didn't. Anyway, you'll have two projects side by side. If you go back to the slide, Griff, you can see like an image where I copied what it looks like there. If you go back to the slide. Anyway, it'll show you two projects. It'll show you two projects next to each other, and you choose which one of those two that you like better. And then you can go to the next one. And basically, it will aggregate this data, and then we'll be able to use that to influence something like our ranking. So our ranking could be affected both by Give Power, which is a token-weighted thing, and can be plutocratic. But we can also get feedback from other people just in this like simple comparison thing. So Budget Box demo is up. It's linked there in the slides, and you can go there and test it. And if you have feedback, let Vitor know about it, and like we can create issues and then tailor it to our needs a little bit better. But anyway, it's super cool. HODL Vault. The snapshot is up for whether or not we want to do the HODL Vault. This is kind of like on the curtails of the Angel Vault. Basically, it helps increase mainnet buy side liquidity for Give, and people can make a profit out of trading fees on the position. Anyway, the forum post explains it all, and the snapshot is up there. It's really cool that someone outside of Giveth created this snapshot. So jump in there and vote with your opinions. Also, the fundraising of things is moving forward. We got a bunch of grants, what we're talking about. There's Radical, which we're kind of like working on some tweaks regarding like how the fiat integration will work, talking with Polygon. ETC, I left this up there from last week just to provide an update. They're not actually accepting grants anymore, so that'll be off the slide by next week. Phantom, Fuse, Gnosis White Label, Moloch Down, Metacartel, and UNICEF. Anyway, there's tons happening in the world of grants, and there's some really great notes actually from the Give Economy research call if you want to know all the details of where each of these are at. All the information is summarized in the grant, so major praise to Katabi for that. And the last thing on the list is this FLII proposal, which is a really great opportunity for Giveth to get in front of some investors. Katabi's working on a forum post for it, which shall be posted relatively soon. But that's all I have for the Give Economy Working Group updates, and I will pass it to the Design Working Group.
Hi, everybody. So on the design end, we are still working on the multi-level user account, and on the onboarding flow and the compatibility for current users. It's actually taking a little bit longer than we thought, but there are a lot of design issues that actually need sorting out so users can actually have a great experience on the platform. And furthermore, we are updating the notification center. We are trying to determine the different notification panel states and what happens when a user actually interacts with a notification panel and what actually constitutes a read or the unread state. And then furthermore, we are working on the Regen Farm updates. We are considering the overall information architecture on that page actually, and we're trying to address all the design issues, like having all active Regen Farm cards on the same page regardless of connected chain, having to differentiate between harvest reward buttons, which have to actually trigger the same transaction. And we're trying to sort more seamlessly the visibility of archived Regen Farm and Regen Stream cards. And then we're also trying to improve the design for when a DAO has multiple farm cards and a single stream card. So we're trying to actually make it so that even if an archived card is not really visible, you are still able to actually connect the streaming card to that particular archived card. So we have it less confusing for users. And then for recurring donation is still currently ongoing. We're trying to sort conducting a little bit of market research, actually trying to sort out a few issues. And then that's that on the design. And if you have any feedbacks, please just let us know on the design working group, and then we'll get back to you. Thank you. So back to Griff for giving us a cycle.
Yeah, thanks, Tostin. Yeah, for the governance circle, I represent the governance working group, and we start with vacation. Lots of people taking vacation, although there'll probably be more around the end of the year, I assume. So don't forget to put your vacation times that you plan on taking into the team availability calendar. But right now we got Freshell taking the turn of the month off. Lauren and I are half-time right now. Mateo and Mo are taking some time off, and Mohammed and Ashley too. So that's great. Enjoy your early Decembers, and try to leave these guys alone. Also, don't forget buddy review calls. Make sure to fill out a form whenever you feel like someone can do better or could do worse. Like if people are really excelling, you can also fill out this contributor review form, especially if you know their buddy call is coming up, and if you're about to have a buddy call, make sure to fill out the self review form. There's so many awesome forum posts as always. The give drop has ended. Maybe I'll won't steal all of Mitch's thunder for all the action in the DAO. But there is a cool proposal for an NFT marketplace that's still getting action. There's if you want to be part of the bug bounty committee and judge the severity of bugs that are being reported. Definitely join the Hats Bug Bounty Committee. You can put a post there to nominate yourself. The Give Power launch video passed. Q3 vesting, Mitch as a hero, making sure everyone gets their Q3 vesting rewards. Panvala partnership is moving along. Ashley already mentioned the project ranking metrics. This is also where you can find links to Budget Box, and if you want to play with it and test it. There's also adding referrals. This is a really interesting forum post about using givebacks to actually create incentives around referrals, so people can be rewarded if they actually get to bring donations to the platform from the givebacks that the donor would have received. So that's pretty interesting. And then there's of course the infamous fiat, which never goes away. Thank you, Mateo, for keeping the fiat alive. The fiat dreams are alive. And then we're hiring. I don't know, Heather, if you're around, do you have anything to say about hiring? Sorry to put you on the spot. I don't even know if you're near your phone to mute or not.
I am sorry. Most of our hiring is in general magic right now, so not much for Giveth unless people see holes that need to be filled. Tell me.
Well, yeah. So, what are we hiring for in general magic?
We need a non-technical co-founder for Praise to who has like an entrepreneurial spirit and edge. And then we also need a oh my gosh, I just had a total brain fart. A director of technology and services for general magic. So someone with, I would say, at least 5 years of dev experience in full stack, and then also has experience in project management as well.
Nice.
That's what I got.
Nice. Some big jobs. So that's cool. Then yeah, perfect. Thanks for jumping in, Heather. Sorry to put you on the spot without any warning. And I'll throw it over to Mitch for the DAO working group.
Thanks, Griff. Yeah, so we got our syncs every Monday, 10 a.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Central European, hopefully still. Yeah, we've got a bunch of different DAO structures and platforms and processes. We got the NR Give DAO, the Give Garden. We've got a bazillion Gnosis safes, token log, and snapshot. And so just some interesting notables. As Griff mentioned, Q3 vesting is just about ready to go. We got Kai and Moshe Hab taking a look at the script, making sure it all looks good. And then we can put it up to the NR Give for a vote. Speaking of which, in the NR Give currently right now, there is only one vote, and that is just to basically switch over Santi's NR Give to a new address. And so that is set to pass, but the more the merrier. In the gardens, we're going to be having the vote there to transfer about 25 million Give tokens from the Give Garden into the NR Give. And that is set to pass in less than an hour. In the multi-sigs, there is nothing pending. And lastly, in the snapshot, we have the Uni V3 Give liquidity, which is a proposal from DHTAL and Ichi. So that needs a bit more love to meet quorum. We're only about 500,000. Quorum is 1 million. I think we can do this, guys. Just get in there and engage. And then if we can jump over to token log, let's take a quick look at token log. Okay, Yeah, so as Matteo mentioned, when we migrated to V2, all the votes were reset. So we need to jump in there and re-engage. You can see at most, there's 3 votes on some of these issues. I can think of at least 30 Give token holders right here in this room right now. So if you want something to get built, I would suggest voting on it in token logs so that the product managers can prioritize the work. And then if you want to go back into the page, the community call slide, just a small little shill. I'm bringing back Giveth Games. So we're going to get something going for this weekend, maybe something casual, like we'll bring back the jackpot games or something. So if you want to just do something not work related and fun, join this Discord community that I'm building. And I will pass it along to Griff to introduce this week's spotlight.
Yeah, thanks, Mitch. So I'm very excited to introduce Jake from myNFT. I assume that you're going to take it for us here and tell us about your awesome project that has already raised money for using Giveth.
Yeah. So thank you very much for obviously allowing me to come along and give a little bit of a spotlight, and obviously a big thank you to all of you for all the work that you do. It's amazing that you can have these calls in particular as well, and just be so kind of transparent about everything that you're working on. It's really, really cool. So, and then are you? I was going to stream my screen, but is that possible, or is?
Yeah, of course,
yeah?
go for it.
Cool. Just because I've been mentally working a pattern of how I'm going to introduce all this stuff. So I was like, let me see. So I'll go. Okay. Right. Can you see my NFT?
Yep. Well, we see your Discord, actually.
Okay. So it's shared the room. Hang on. There we go. 1080.
Yeah, there it is. I see some
Okey-doke.
apes.
So yeah, you can always see an ape in an NFT land. So yeah, hello. A tiny bit of background on myself. So my name's Jake Scott. I've only been working with myNFT for about 9 months now, but I previously worked in a blockchain games company since 2017, and we'd made mobile games, we'd made collectible card games, working with the BBC. So we made a Doctor Who Worlds Apart trading card game, and made some pretty exciting stuff, but a lot of it was quite early in terms of NFTs, so it didn't really get the spotlight that you might have got if it had been released a few years later when everything was heating up. But yeah, I mean, a little bit of background on myNFT. It is run by a company called Perpetual Altruism, which is obviously a lovely kind of a generous or a nice sounding company name, and that's obviously kind of the ethos that we have always had as part of the company. So originally, the project that they'd launched was called Cryptograph. And what Cryptograph was digital collectibles. So just before the CryptoKitties standard made them non-fungible, it was all digital collectibles. So the idea with it was to launch a platform that allowed celebrities and other well-known figures to raise money for their chosen charities with an auction model, and also to incorporate NFTs into this to show obviously all of the on-chain benefits, and also kind of tie together that idea of that charitable giving can be a big part of NFTs, and it can be a big part of digital collectibles. So so Cryptograph was launched, and they had quite a series of interesting auctions. Here you can see Vitalik Buterin, I think this is 2020, at one of the DevCon conferences, and he'd agreed, I think this is the only NFT he's actually ever really done, but he agreed to then have this auctioned, and all the money went to charity that he'd selected. So he then I think he gave to Gitcoin QF funds. I'm not sure if you're aware of them, but each celebrity and each character gave to their chosen charity. So for example, Jason Momoa, he gave to remove plastic from the ocean. So everything was quite relative to those celebrities or people. And underpinning this whole system is a auction model that we'd created called GBM. And essentially, obviously, you can go away and have a look at this so I can share any information on it. Essentially, the way it works is that instead of in the typical English auction where if you're outbid, you lose essentially, and all the people involved in the auction lose except the buyer and seller, we've tried to create an on-chain system where everybody wins. I almost didn't do the title there. God, I put shame on the company. But yeah, everybody wins is the tagline there. And as I said, like incentivized bidding and the purpose of this is really interesting because not only do you have different groups coming together to like bid on assets that might not have liquidity before, but you can raise more money, and it's a more interesting and pleasant experience than the English or the very confusing Dutch auction models. So yes, as I said, like Cryptograph was the earliest platform to use it. There's Paris Hilton with her Kitty NFT that she did, and then other projects have started to use it as well. So there's Avagotchi. I don't know if you're aware of them. They're like a finance protocol with NFTs. They use GBM as well, and they absolutely love it. And obviously, the upcoming myNFT marketplace it intends to use that as like a major feature. So yeah, so at the minute, myNFT is just in beta. We're very, very limited in terms of the features we have, but we do expect like a lot of these features to roll out quite soon. People at the minute can mint a username. In future, obviously, you're going to be able to create your own NFTs. We're going to create also have domain names, like the legitimate tokenization, so not only ENS side of things, but the actual like domains that you might see on GoDaddy or whatever else. But then talking about obviously what we've been doing recently is we wanted to find a way to make some noise and obviously intro myNFT to the world. And one of the ways that we thought about doing it, and ignore this white bit of paper on there because that's like an early photo of it. But one way we thought about doing this was why not set up a NFT vending machine? Because obviously one of the big issues with NFTs, digital collectibles, cryptocurrency is for a lot of people, it's terrifying to think that you have to go on to something called a MetaMask, or you have to go on to a DEX, or you have to go on to one of these horrible centralized exchanges that ruin everyone's experiences, FTX and others. And yeah, I mean, I've been in crypto a long time, since 2013, and I've had a lot of terrible experiences along the way. So we could completely relate with people being kind of put off by NFTs generally. So what we did is, as I said, we came up with an idea to just create something that is very, very, very familiar and very analog almost. And what's more accessible than a vending machine? So obviously, what was great about this is we had people coming down to purchase an NFT who had never purchased one before, who had been interested in it, or their partners were into cryptocurrency or whatever else, but they just were just put off by it. So for me, that was really kind of special, where I had, I think, like at least 10 or 12 people who had just come down to the conference. So we placed this outside the front door of the conference so everyone could access it. They came down to the area and got them. So that was, for me, that was like really, really nice, because I got to have that experience of onboarding people. And obviously, what we wanted to do is we wanted to use this to actually do good at the same time. So we picked Giveth yourselves and Roald Dahl's Marvelous Children's Charity as the two charities that we wanted to support. In part, one was because Giveth is obviously a Web3, savvy company, whilst Roald Dahl is not. But we are very close with Roald Dahl because we've been kind of like introducing them to the their Web3 world. So we really wanted to support them. And I'm delighted, because what's ended up happening is other NFT projects, so like Flower Girls NFT, have ended up giving donations to the children's charity. And so that kind of like, to see the kind of snowball effect that's had, that's been like really, really nice. And I'll give you, well, first of all, I'll say it's quite funny. Obviously, like, this is a press piece that we'd put out ourselves. it's quite funny the like resistance we got from some press. So here's a good example of Bloomberg. So Bloomberg turned up to the event or outside the conference, and they chose to appear before the conference itself was actually open. So at like 8 a.m. or something like that, and it started at 9. And they just said that it got a cold London reception, even though it definitely didn't. But obviously, like the charitable side of things meant that like journalists like this were more kind of resistant to wanting to like absolutely trash it, but they still find their their kind of subtle ways of saying NFTs are bad, crypto is bad, all of these other things. So I'd just like to play a quick video just to kind of show you like the actual success and what it looked like in operation. So I'll just quickly play this. I hope it'll play sound for you. I mean, so there we have the machine there. Beautiful neon sign, of course. Again, ironically, one of the things that let us down was that payment machine you see there, that Web 2 element where we were trying to make this as accessible as possible. So we didn't force people to have a crypto wallet. There's me shaking hands. I also do a lot of dance moves for some reason. You'll see me kind of, there we go, dip. Yeah, I don't know why I do that, but I do quite a few little dance moves when I'm talking to people. And yeah, people, the payment processor there would just constantly fail. One of the reasons was the machine was such a success that we got flagged by like the vending machine company as being suspicious, because it didn't make sense that the machine was getting so many purchases from it. So that's obviously a really, really positive thing to take away, is that it was so busy that like it overloaded. But yeah, I mean, people like loved the fact that all of the proceeds went to wonderful charitable organizations like yourselves. And as I said, for me personally, it was just amazing to have like onboarding of new people. So yeah, I mean, in terms of what's coming in the future, obviously we are just in beta at the moment. We are looking into having partners like yourselves. So this is something I want to have a call. I think we're having a call next week. I think it's fellow Jake that I'm having a call with, might be. Yeah, I want to have a call about becoming kind of a longer term partner, because one of the things we could potentially do is, if a creator comes to myNFT, the marketplace platform, and they want to create a series or collection of NFTs, we could set it so that rather than them having a royalty, or they do have a royalty but it's split, we could implement a charitable donation. So that's something that we're really interested in, and we know that a lot of creators following on from our vending machine had talked to us about that, because again, like the Flower Girls NFT collection, they're a very good example of this. They really, really support charitable giving, and so they want to do something that is better integrated with giving. And yeah, so that's kind of, I think that's it really. I mean, I've not given a huge amount of info on myNFT, but you will we're hoping to launch out, or officially in official beta on the 1st of December, and then looking to actually go live at the start of next year. So yeah, I just want to say thank you very much for obviously giving me your time and including me on the call. It was really interesting and impressive to hear like everything that you guys are doing, and I hope that we can work together on doing more good for the world. I think, as you said before, like Web3 doing good things, not only from a selfish point of view of people who are invested in the crypto world and want prices to recover and to make money and things like that, but also from like the very essence of what like crypto started out as. It started with a very different philosophy, and that included like transparency, and that included giving. And like one of the best kind of things that I remember like keeping that fire in me, that passion for crypto, was like seeing how Dogecoin, like their community in like 2014, 15, 17, they were like always looking for cool ways to give to charity. And I think that like that essence of us all being able to collaborate more effectively because of blockchain and because of this kind of Web3 world, it's good. So yeah, honestly, my pleasure coming here and talking to you, and thank you very much for your time. I think that's it.
Thanks so much, Jake. I mean, does anyone have a quick question for Jake?
Well, I have a quick question. This is
Yeah.
amazing, by the way. I absolutely
Thank
love
you.
it. Jake, what are your plans for the vending machine? Are you planning to keep bringing it to events, or what's the plan?
Yeah, so the plan is twofold really with the vending machine. One is that we want to have it at all the kind of, or at least major NFT or Web3 conferences that we can across the world over the next like 2 years. So we're looking into how will that work legally, like obviously because there's different rules and laws affecting different countries, and also for our side of things, like are we going to have to, well, we think we're going to have to source a vending machine inside the United States because shipping a vending machine from Europe would just be kind of not cost effective. And so, yeah, there's a lot of things to consider there. But yeah, like stage one for us is to continue doing charity driven vending machines at these major conferences. And then the kind of future that we're looking at is like a vending machine 2.0, which is kind of like a digital point of sale, and that is connected into our marketplace, and that would be placed in places like We3 stores potentially that are coming out, any kind of Web3 related places, and certain kind of hardware companies that they're quite interested in placing it around at their technological centers. So yes, we definitely want to continue the charity side, and we're looking into the point of sale side too.
Amazing, Jake. I think the NFT vending machine's got clear product market fit, so that's super cool. And thank you so much for donating to Giveth, and hopefully we can get more Giveth projects involved with you. And thank you all for coming to another amazing community call. It's always great to see everyone here and get a good overview of the Giveth Galaxy and what's going on. So I'll see you guys at 1:40.
Wait.
Yeah.
Wait.
Listen to Griff, it was his birthday on Wednesday.
Oh
So
no.
before you
Yeah,
go,
and Susan and Almond and Griff. Yeah. Unmute.
Unmute.
Oh no.
Unmute.
I still see microphones.
Happy
Unmute.
birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
Happy
Happy
birthday, happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Feliz cumple. I'm glad that one was recorded. Thank you guys. Bye bye. Adios.